Alright, so I went to change my oil the other day and noticed there was oil under the skid plate, or on top of the skid plate when I went to take it off. And then I traced it up to this counter shaft over here, where the front sprocket mounts up. That seems to be where it's coming from. It's happened to me before where oil was leaking out of the seal right behind the front sprocket. Last time this happened, I didn't have to replace the seal because there was just a bunch of dirt or really fine sand that got in there. So I'm assuming that's what it was this time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it apart and see if I could clean it up rather than replace this seal. So first thing I'm going to do is I already loosened the bolts. But I'm going to take off this front sprocket cover here. It's just two 8mm bolts. Just the first thing to get at here. Next, I'm going to take the chain off, just to make it a little easier. You could do it without it, but it's easier to just pop the master link off. Well, in this case, it's kind of stuck on there, but trust me, taking the chain off is going to be a lot easier than trying to work around this thing kinked up there. You're going to want as much space as you can get to clean out that oil seal. You're going to want to have a lot of room to shove a screwdriver in and a rag, because we're not replacing the seal. We're just going to try to shove all that stuff in there to clean it out. Alright, so don't mind me, it takes me a while to get this master link off, but if you have a bolt on the front sprocket like I do on this Honda, leave the chain on if you don't have an impact gun, so you can use a wrench or socket to get that front thing off and hold it from spinning by holding the rear wheel locked. In my case, I have an impact gun. It works great on it. It takes off pretty easy, even with the chain not on there holding that front sprocket from spinning. Some bikes have a C-clip, so you won't have to worry about that at all. But it came off pretty easy. And so we're going to look close here. You can see this is definitely the source of the oil leak. It's usually the black rubber seal, and at the bottom is where that oil is coming out. It looks like a fine sand in there again. Same thing that happened on one of my other bikes. Probably the seal is okay, low hours on it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. I'm going to use vice grips to grab it. You might not need to use vice grips. This one came out easy, but definitely pliers or something to pull it out. It's going to be hard with your fingers. Okay, and I could already tell there's some grooves on there. You can see on the outside, this is the outside of this. Looks like where the oil was bad. There's a ring that goes on the inside that fits in this tapered edge. That's another part of the oil seal, but it's usually this outer one that will cause a leak. And you can see all the sand in the groove of that seal. So that's definitely the issue right there. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to get an old t-shirt and a small flathead screwdriver to start cleaning this out. Alright, so this is a small flathead I'm going to use. First I'm going to start with this, a real thin part of the t-shirt, just to get like the main chunks of it out. Gotta be careful that doesn't fall in the motor, so I'm going to go real carefully, just go a little bit and then take it out, use a new part of the t-shirt so I don't drop any of that dirt that I just picked off there back into the motor. So I'm going to keep cleaning it. I'll go quarter way around, clean it, pull all the dirt out, and just keep repeating that process for a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to try just the flathead screwdriver without the t-shirt on there, just to see if I could clean out the rest of the stuff at the bottom. It's super fine sand, as you can see. But I'm just going to try to get as much of this out, and then I'm going to take the shirt, I'm going to shove it in there, like a big clump of it. I'm going to shove it in with the screwdriver, and then I'm going to use the shaft to actually spin this around to get the rest of it out. This is kind of like the final cleaning that I'm going to do. I'm going to do this maybe 2 or 3 times with a fresh part of the t-shirt, and you can see all the stuff that's still coming out of there. So I got to make sure it's super clean before I put this thing back together. Okay, look at the last thing. I'm just going to slide it in there. I think it's clean enough. So I'm going to put this in there. I'll put the front sprocket back on, throw the chain on. I'm going to run it around for a while, and I'm going to check to see if there's any oil leaks. In this case, this thing was solved. That was it.